So continuing to get users onto our web application. So far we've just listed some users who we directly entered into the database. Probably this won't live all the way through to the end of this, because a web application that its main page is just display all the users. That doesn't seem very sensible. But it's quite helpful for us to be able to view this, so it's good to have this for the moment. But on that topic of things which are slightly different here, I'm going to grab this create route and throw it into our application. But create doesn't really make sense when we're just talking about users, although you can do a create. I'm going to have it as register, so we can register ourselves. There's two different ways really of managing users on a website. One way is that an admin adds the users themselves. That's perfectly acceptable. Another way is that a user registers themselves, and then the admin can manage the users afterwards, perhaps give them a different role, admin roles or whatever. So I'm kind of going down that pathway here. Right, so I've just copied and pasted the create, but I've made it called register instead. And clearly I've got some issues. This is not called Steam Data 2. In fact, why don't we just tidy this up, thinking about what we're going to be doing. So we've got if request.method equals post, we're going to insert into TBL users, and the things we're going to insert are probably last name and first name and username. Should we do password as well? I think we will, and password. And so obviously, because 1, 2, 3, 4 values here, I need 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this vals request.form. Let's do exactly the same as what we've got going on here. So, you know what? I'm actually regretting one thing that I've done here. I like to do camel case for the fields that I'm using in the form, and I should be consistent because it's so easy to get this wrong. Request.form last name, so I'm just going to make it so I have the first letter not capitalized but camel case from then on. So last name, first name, it just saves a lot of problems later. And it needs to be in the same order: last name, first name, username, password. So let's just copy and paste a little bit here. Control C, Control V, Control V, and then just change that to username and that to password. And so we're going to execute SQL vals, commit, and we're all good, and redirect back to the home page. And the template is going to be register.html. So back over here, add a I seem to be running here, don't I? Yeah. So add a new item called register, and then we'll just do the usual form things. Form method equals post, and we can have an input, so name equals, and this is now where I'm thanking myself for being consistent, because I don't have to go and look up how I capitalized or anything like that. Name equals last name, that'll do. Input name equals first name, and input, input name equals username, and input name equals password. So being very careful to keep that capitalization all the same, and input type equals submit. So I'll just have to remember which is which for the moment. last name, first name, username, password. Remember that. Okay, so we happy? I think we can actually run it at this point and check. So currently this is a list of users. So if I go /register, and the last name is going to be Bugs, Brian, username, we'll go with Brian, Brain, let's go consistent Brian, and his password is ABC123. Submit that, and he has been added to the database. I think that'll do for another video.